Hi everyone, this is Diane. Thanks for coming to my channel. I am working on just kind of prepping for the next set of journals, and we'll talk about that in a bit. This is going to be kind of a strange video because I'm doing things in a different order than I normally do, because I already have my Sizzix out here on my table and papers around me, and I've been cutting some things. So I'm going to start out by doing a little Scrapistry here, and then I'll move the Sizzix aside and we will talk about the journals that I'm doing these for, or journal. Well, what I have here are my little paper scraps. I have this basket that I put the smaller pieces, my smaller scraps in. Some of these pieces should not be in here. They should be in my other, but this is sitting on top of the, I have these large drawers underneath my desk here. They're not stuck in anything, they're just on the floor and stacked one on the other. So it's easier to drop them in here than to actually open a drawer and put them in. But anyway, I went through this and pulled out papers that will go with the project that I'm working on, and I did get a couple out of my larger drawer. So I'm going to just cut a few things here and then we're going to move on. So I'm going to select some papers and show you how I do this cutting thing using small pieces. I'm just going to lay them on my cutting mat. Not too close to the edge. Because, let's see, oh, I think it was the orange. Yeah, I guess this one was too close to the edge, so it didn't cut all the way there. Oops, sorry. I'll trim this down. It's already got some circles punched in it. Well, let's try this piece. Yes, I will even use one that small. Okay, so then next to me, right over here, I have some flower dies. And I have this one, but mostly I'm using, well, I don't know where the packaging is because it's a mess over here. But mostly I'm using a different one. That's okay, I can show you later. So I will just put on some flowers, whatever fits. Start with the big ones and then start adding some smaller ones. That's the reason I got out that other one, this one, because some of those are smaller. And I think that's all. Well, I can get some more out of here. This one has a lot in it. A lot of tiny ones. Let's fill up these spaces. There. In case you're wondering, this is Sizzix Tim Holtz 661806. If you're looking for some tiny flower dies. Now I will make my sandwich. I have my platform, my cutting die, or cutting platform, cutting plate. The platform, the cutting plate, the paper, the dies, and the second plate on top. And I'm going to put this, no, that's not what I was using, this one. It's 2 layers of a thin cardstock, and that acts as a, what is it? It helps to just make it just enough thicker that it presses down enough. I forgot what I call it now. A shim. It's a shim. And now just with that one pass, we get a lot of flowers. And I'm going to do some green for some leaves, and then I'm going to set the big shot aside. And move on. I put my flower dies on the right side and my leaf dies on the left side so I could easily find what I needed. Are you curious what I'm going to be doing with these bright flowers? I probably won't use this many, but I might as well make a bunch while I'm at it. Just checking to see if I threw a die away with that scrap. Don't think so. Okay, now I'm going to take all these off and put on some green. I'm using patterned paper mostly, but you don't have to. I just thought it would be fun. I've got these bright green. This is a heavier cardstock, so is this one. Well, I'm going to trim this a little bit so I can have some of the polka dot ones on too. And now I'll just put some leaves on. Oh, this is the packaging I was looking for. These leaves are from different sets. They're not all from that set. Some of them are to be used with a stamp, so they're not very detailed in their outline, so they don't work very well for this unless I got my stamps out and stamped them. I've got a bunch of these tiny ones to fill in spaces. Okay, if some of them don't work out, it's fine. Like this one, I don't know if it's too close to the edge. We're just going to go for it. If I can run it back so it runs through twice, might help cut through all the way or emboss it better. Let's see. Yep, they cut it out. Great. The leaves aren't as detailed as the flowers mostly, so they just come right out, which is great. Oh, this has a leaf in it. I lost it. Oh, here it is. I'm curious about what it was supposed to cut, because it looks wonky. Maybe the shim or the pieces bounced before I ran it back through the second time. That happens sometimes, so that the die moved into a different spot and cut the leaf wonky, because there's a part of it that got cut. Okay, so anyway, these are the leaves. And I'm going to move this onto the floor. And I'm going to pick up my dies. I got a whole bunch of dies out. I didn't know which ones I wanted to use, and I just did flowers. I did do, well, I'll show you in a second, but I got out this pocket because it has flowers there, and I thought I could do that in the right colors to give the look that I want. Tags and shapes, so I got all those out just in case I wanted them. I don't think I meant to bring that over. Even fish. These up out of my way, and these are the flowers, including the ones I cut before I turned the camera on. Flowers and leaves. Okay. Phew. So, I did do some, like this is just like a border flower. And a couple of corner type of flowers. And the rest I'm going to layer. But let me show you why I want all these flowers. I'm going to be working on 3 golden books, and they will be wire bound. And one of them is Ukulele and her new doll. So it doesn't say she's from Hawaii, but I think she is. It just says she's in the South Seas, or South Sea Island. Yeah, beautiful green island in the South Seas. So I took the book apart. This is an old book from 1951. And it had a puzzle in the back, but the puzzle was gone. And this is where the puzzle had fit in, and it had all the, you could see all the shapes to put the puzzle in there. But I took a piece of white paper, like just copy paper, and laid it on here and used a pencil and kind of drew around it the best I could with the indentation, and then cut it out of a striped paper. It's not perfect, but it just fills in that blank blue spot that was there. Then I cut the pages, and there are 2 more pages than in a newer golden book, and it's not like the ones from the 40s that had a color page and then a black and white page. They were all color pages, but each, and there's 2 signatures, but each signature just had 1 extra page at the back. So there were 14 pages instead of 12. And I want to include the whole story because this is a very unusual golden book. This is the only time I've ever seen it, is this one right here. I've never seen it on anybody's video. So I wanted to include the whole book. So that means it will limit how many pages I can add to it to make it into a journal. But I did use my Anna Griffin thick cardstock pages. I'd gotten them at a flea market or an antique mall. And I wasn't too keen on the tropical pages because I don't do tropical themes. But then I needed it for this. So I cut them down to size. There are, I think, 5 or 6. There's 5 different pages, but one of them had a different enough pattern that I cut 2 pages out of it because they both look quite different. And I added some extra things. So far I have this hut tiki cocktail lounge from that group of menus that I bought at the flea market, and a recipe for pineapple supreme dessert and crunchy coconut whipped dessert. He's climbing up there to get the coconuts for this dessert. Here's that paper. This is the one I cut 2 out of that paper because the other one has more pink in it. Some images of pineapple recipes and things like that from vintage magazines. I'm going to cover that up so it'll be for journaling on the back. Some recipe cards. Pineapple, sparkling pineapple and Hawaiian fondue. Some fruit cocktail with all those nice fruit, and I'll cover that up. And this recipe card that is actually doubled. Island Treasure. And I might have to take some of those out because I have all these. Let me show you what I have. I don't know if I'll be able to show you the other books. Because I got those National Geographics from 1960 and 1966. I had a stack of them from the flea market. And National Geographics, especially the 1961, had a lot of advertisements for travel and like retro travel, mid-century. And so a lot of those images were very nice for this kind of a journal. And then one of the magazines had a whole article about Hawaii. So I've got a lot of images I can use. I won't need them all for this book, that's for sure, but look at that one. And I think I'd like to make her into a pocket, a side pocket. So many fun images. I'll have to use this one. This is the island, part of the one of the islands, and the sea. And up here, there were clouds and sky, but I had to trim it down because this is going to be a page, and this is going to be a page, and this is going to be a page. It's an advertisement for Bell Telephone. Pan Am flight to Hawaii. This couple taking pictures. Look at that beach with all the umbrellas. All the people. Body surfing, looks like. I guess this goes with that. So many cool images. And here is a map. Can't really read it very well. I can read the names of the islands, but anything written on there I can't read. There's words all around, but they're too tiny. Sheraton hotels. This was on the back cover of a National Geographic. And then there are smaller images. Not her. We don't need Mother Goose. A scrap of paper, a couple of index cards that had these Dole pineapple recipes glued onto them. They're vintage. These recipes are all from vintage magazines. And then I have two little circles cut with this fabric with the pineapples. It was in a batch of, circles that were cut from fabric from a flea market. So that's what I wanted the flowers for. I'm going to layer them and make embellishments. The other journals I'm going to make don't have anything to do with tropical locations. I have these because the National Geographics were musty. They did not smell mildewy, but they were musty. So I had those pages in this bag with dryer sheets, and they do smell better. But I think I'll put them in there again overnight. I mean, I had them in there for a couple weeks. I have the leftover pieces. So I only cut, they were 5.5 inches, so I still have 6.5 inches wide on these papers that I used, plus the part I cut off the top. So the other books that I'm going to use are Popcorn Party, because I've had this for a while and I've been wanting to use it. I don't have anything pulled for that except for these popcorn bags. I wanted to make sure I put popcorn bags in there. And this one is going to be something fun to do, something different, because it's Red Riding Hood, but then you flip it over and it's the Three Little Pigs. So I really want to, I thought the binding with the bind it all would be the best way to do that flip-flop thing. So I would yeah, I can do that. So I'll have these pages with other pages, in between, like a junk journal, and then this page will be in the center, and then these pages will be upside down, and all of the pages that I add into it will be upside down, so it can be a flip-flop journal. Won't that be fun? So that's what I'm working on. I think I'll just do one at a time because they're all so different, but because they're ring bound and fewer pages and stuff, they don't take me as long as the ones that I sew in with more pages. So to continue with the Scrapistry project, let's start layering some of our flowers. I'm going to grab some brads. know where I put my punch that makes 1/8 inch holes, but I think I can do it without it. I can just poke. I used that recently, and apparently I didn't put it back. Okay, let's start with this yellow one. I like this yellow one. These already have the holes in the center. So I guess I didn't need that punch. And I'll put a yellow brad in the middle of this one. If my fingers can get a hold of one. There we go. And with some leaves, this will be a fun embellishment on a page or a pocket. And these are all made with scraps. Except for this, I wanted orange, and I had to get a 8.5 by 11 page of orange cardstock. So it looks like I made a ton of flowers, but when you start layering them and you use them up, I might need to make more, actually. Especially the big ones. I need to make some small ones too. These I will add to cardstock so that they can be used as corner pockets. They'll just be embellishing a corner pocket. And this one will be a pocket at the bottom of the page, but on cardstock. So these from the other die set, they don't have holes in the middle. And these are kind of big brads, so I think I'll look for a smaller one so I don't have to make such a big hole in that tiny flower. It might tear all the way through. I think I need some bright red ones. I'll have to cut some bright red. So I had a very busy weekend. I didn't puncture, but it poked my finger. It was our birthday weekend, my daughter and me, so on her birthday on Saturday we went to Cooperstown and New York and did a train ride. It was a nice length of a ride. I don't know how long we were gone actually, but it involved a train robbery, which was fun. So the train robbers, they were shooting, you know, they stopped the train. We didn't get very far, and they stopped the train. And then they boarded the train. And they were going to force the train to stop at a certain place where they could intercept something that was carrying what they wanted. So these robbers were on the train and walking up and down every now and then and assuring us that they weren't going to hurt us. And it was fun. So at one point they stopped the train and they got off, and there was a shootout outside where we could watch out the window, but it was kind of hard to see everything that was going on. And they opened up the box that they stole from whatever it must have been. I don't know if it was a stagecoach or what that was supposed to have been robbed, but they blew up the box, blew it open, and there was nothing in it, and then they were mad. So they got back on the train, and we were told by the conductor that because there was nothing in the box and they wanted to get something for their trouble, they were going to rob us. So they didn't want us to lose our money, so they gave us each 2 gold coins. Very cheap plastic gold coins. And hinted that the robbers wouldn't know if we kept one. So it was for a souvenir. So then the robbers came by and we each had to put one of our coins in there or face the consequences. It was fun. Then when we got back to the depot where we started, there was a crowd gathered and already waiting for the shootout that was going to happen, because the sheriff and his deputies were there waiting to arrest them when we got back. So there was a shootout. So very interesting. Just something fun. I got some popcorn to eat while on the train. We had a car with snacks. So I ate some popcorn while I was watching the show. I can put this little flour bread in the middle. Forgot about these. So that was Saturday. We were gone pretty much all day. We took a picnic lunch and it was raining by the time we were going to have our picnic, so we just kind of used the tailgate of the truck, standing there in the rain making our sandwiches, and then we got back in the truck to eat in the rain, or eat in the truck. And then when we got back to my daughter's house, we had she opened her gifts and had her cake. So there's that, and I still have a few pieces that I can put together. But if I want, I might want to make some red ones, so I might go back, not today, but get my Big Shot back out and make some red ones. And then I'll just add the leaves as I adhere the flowers to wherever they're going to be. So there's that, and then I'll just have to make some little pockets with these. And is that all I needed to do today? So Sunday was my birthday, and I did not go to church. I go to church every Sunday, but I just felt like I needed to stay home and putter on my birthday. So I did. And my daughter and her husband and her kids came over at lunchtime, and they brought some KFC because that's what I wanted. And she made me a chocolate cake. I made her request was a white cake with Cool Whip and strawberries. So I made that for her, and then the next day she had a chocolate cake for me. We share our birthdays. It's nice. Ooh, that went way off center. Maybe this should just be a smaller one. Take that bigger one off the back. So, yeah, yesterday was full. My son had to work. He doesn't usually work on Sundays. He's a meat cutter. And they needed somebody to cut meat. So he had said he would work. But after he got done with work, he and his family came over to have cake and just hang out for a little bit. So my weekend was full with lovely family and fun times. And today, I just didn't feel like doing anything. I have stuff to list in my shop, and I have it like prepped and ready, but I didn't feel like taking the pictures or making the video or any of it. So I didn't. Just been kind of puttering again, I guess. So we have a bunch of flowers and some leaves. And I guess that's all I need to do in this video. I think they look really cool. They look pretty in my ukulele book. Like that. Something like that. Fun. And maybe I can even decorate some of the book pages. Alright, so I think this is going to be a fun journal to work on. Tomorrow I'm going to my sister's house because they're taking me out for my birthday. So I'll be gone pretty much all day tomorrow. This goes here. I did number all the pages to make sure I can keep them all together in the right order. Maybe Wednesday I'll be able to really buckle down and get some stuff done. Some stuff listed in my shop, but I don't know what day you'll see this. This will be Wednesday or Thursday that you see this video. So anyway, I will stop chattering and let you go, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.